Okay, let's unpack this. We are diving deep today into, I think, one of the most anticipated returns in modern anime, the announcement and all the trailer details for Frieren, Beyond Journey's End Season 2. This series it completely captured the zeitgeist by doing something totally unexpected. It starts where most fantasy stories end.
It really does.
So our mission for this deep dive is pretty clear. We want to extract the key insights for you, look at its, profound emotional core. We'll scrutinize who's guiding the production now and break down all the specific reveals, music, casting, everything, so you are fully ready.
And it's so important because we're not just discussing a sequel here. We're really analyzing a phenomenon. It's this rare blend of heartfelt narrative and just stunning animation. It's not your typical power fantasy. This is all about, friendship, loss, and this incredibly slow, difficult process of personal growth over, well, millennia.
Exactly. And right at the heart of it is Frieren, the elven mage. The setup is just genius. The series kicks off after the Demon King has already been defeated. She was part of the heroes' party. They won. It's over. But the real story starts when she's faced with the just crushing reality of her own lifespan and the mortality of the people she grew to love.
That's the pivot right there. Her longevity means she experiences a human life as like a flicker. It just flashes by. So her core conflict isn't some big new monster. It's time itself. She was initially so aloof, and now her entire journey is this intense, deliberate reaction to seeing generations just pass her by.
Right. But doesn't that make the series risk being, I don't know, a bit overly sentimental?
Right.
Or even repetitive, since the whole mechanic is basically mourning? How does it avoid that trap?
That is the absolute key to understanding the source material, the manga by Kanehiro Yamada and Tsukasa Abe. It avoids pure sentimentality by making Frieren's grief actionable. Her quest isn't to defeat some new villain, it's to fulfill the last wishes of her fallen comrades. Remembrance becomes a tangible mission.
So it's not just her sitting around and being sad.
Not at all. It's things like finding a rare spell for someone, or visiting a specific place tied to some silly, forgotten joke they once shared. The classic fantasy quest is replaced by these small, almost mundane tasks. Frieren hunting for a useless spell that cleans toilets becomes more important than a big battle, because those acts force her to really live inside the human experience she once just dismissed.
And that really clicks with the official synopsis from Crunchyroll. It sums it up so perfectly. It says, after the party of heroes defeated the Demon King, they restored peace to the land and returned to lives of solitude. It's that immediate jump from epic victory to this profound solitude that carries all the narrative weight. She's grappling with loss, trying to understand life and death, and ultimately trying to find peace by learning what her friends actually valued.
And that's why it resonates. The audience is watching this immortal being essentially study humanity by revisiting the ghosts of her friendships. It makes every small moment feel monumental. She's like a scientist studying an emotional connection after the experiment has already ended.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
But that kind of slow burn emotional tone can only be sustained with impeccable craft. The subtlety needs precision visuals. So let's look at the team that actually built this thing.
Right.
We have to start with the animation studio, Madhouse. I mean, the name is practically synonymous with top-tier anime production. You think of projects like Death Note, One Punch Man. Their involvement was a sign this was going to be handled with incredible care.
And to really get the benchmark Season 2 has to meet, we should look at the talent that defined Season 1. So the director for Season 1 was Keiichiro Saito.
From BOC CGI.
Exactly. Known for that dynamic character direction. And in Frieren, he showed this incredible skill at blending these really expressive internal character moments with, sharp, fast direction when the action kicked in. That's why a quiet scene of Frieren just walking through a field still feels so immediate and personal.
And the pacing, too. The series composition, how the manga chapters are structured into episodes, that was handled by Tomohiro Suzuki. He's known for One Punch Man, which is structurally complex, and he brought that skill here. Even though the story is slow, each episode had a satisfying arc.
And we can't forget the look of it. The character designs by Reiko Nagasawa from Tacked Up That Destiny. Her designs are just so gentle and expressive, they can convey centuries of history in just a slight facial twitch. But they're also ready for high-octane action.
And of course, the score. That music became the soul of the series. Composed by Evan Call, whose work on Violet Evergarden has that exact same emotional bandwidth, that blend of gentle sadness and determined hope. When you look at that team, you realize Season 1's success was anything but an accident. It was a perfectly assembled artistic package.
Absolutely. The level of craft was essential.
Okay, so this brings us to what might be the most significant piece of news, especially for those of you who follow industry dynamics. The directorial shift for Season 2. We now know that Tomoya Kitagawa is stepping in as the new director.
Yeah, that's a big one.
A directorial change can be nerve-wracking. Saito sets such a high bar. What do we know about Kitagawa? What might change?
This is a key thing to watch. Kitagawa is no novice. He's highly respected. And where Saito's style leaned towards those dynamic, punchy visuals, Kitagawa often emphasizes more atmospheric depth, more nuanced character blocking. If you look at his previous work, there's a real focus on the character's internal state, making their emotional world visible through the environment.
So not necessarily a drop in quality, but maybe a shift in focus.
It could be. We might see subtle shifts. For example, how will he visually interpret the magic? Or, more importantly, how will he use silence? Silence and reflection are so vital to Frieren's character. His task is huge. Move the story forward while preserving that incredibly delicate emotional balance.
So we might get a different flavor, maybe an even deeper focus on atmosphere, on the quiet moments of Frieren sitting alone, which, honestly, sounds perfectly aligned with the show's themes. It's a calculated risk by Madhouse.
It is.
Okay, now that we've analyzed the artistic leadership, let's get down to the details you can actually mark on your calendar.
The fun stuff.
The premiere date is locked in. Set your alarms. Frieren. Beyond Journey's End Season 2 is officially set for January 16th, 2026.
And that comes with great news for international fans. The sources confirm Crunchyroll will be streaming the new season not long after its Japanese debut. No long waits. The global conversation can start immediately.
And beyond the date, the trailer gave us some other reveals, especially about the sound, which is so crucial for the tone. We know the new opening theme song. It's titled Lulu, and it's performed by the band Mrs. Green Apple.
A fantastic pairing. It's very strategic.
Why them specifically? What do they bring?
Well, Mrs. Green Apple, they're known for these sophisticated, almost orchestral arrangements that support really poignant philosophical lyrics. They're masters at blending these sweeping, fantastical soundscapes with very modern, introspective themes. It's the perfect match for a show that asks huge questions about existence, but does it so gently.
That makes perfect sense. The music has to ground you immediately in that unique mix of epic fantasy and personal sorrow.
But just as compelling is a major casting announcement for a significant new character. We now know that Kazuhiko Inoue has been cast as the voice of the hero of the South.
Oh, that is phenomenal casting.
Yeah.
We have to unpack that. Inoue's the legend. You'll recognize his voice from huge roles, like his unforgettable performance as Yoriichi in Demon Slayer. So why is this specific casting so vital for the hero of the South?
Because when you cast Inoue, you're not just getting a voice. You are getting instant authority, a sense of historical gravity. The hero of the South, even if he only shows up in flashbacks, represents this era of unparalleled power that shaped Frieren's world. Casting someone of Inoue's caliber suggests the character will play a major, rich role in the narrative.
It sends a signal about the character's importance.
It absolutely does. It connects right back to the core themes. The weight of time isn't just in Frieren's sadness, it's in the legends that populate her past. Inoue's voice is basically a shortcut to conveying that this character matters.
Okay, so what does this all mean for you as we get ready? Let's do a quick synthesis of the key takeaways. First, lock in that premiere date, January 16th, 2026. Second, be aware of the directorial shift to Tomoya Kitagawa.
Third, get ready for the new opening theme, Lulu, by Mrs. Green Apple. And finally, listen closely for the powerful voice of Kazuhiko Inoue as the hero of the South.
And even with all these production details, the central draw is the same. It's this thoughtful, heartbreaking, and surprisingly funny journey about confronting the relentless march of time.
Right. That grounding in universal themes is why there's so much anticipation. And this strategy of bringing in a new director while keeping the core team is a delicate balance. It's meant to ensure continuity while bringing in a fresh perspective.
A fresh perspective on a story all about looking back.
Exactly. Which leads to a really interesting question for you to mull over as we wait. Given that the series succeeds by grappling with loss through the eyes of an immortal being, how will this shift in directors, from Saito to Kitagawa, influence the style used to convey the immense gravity of time passing? Will Kitagawa's focus on atmosphere maybe slow the pace even further? Or will he find new ways to visually interpret the weight of 1,000 years in a medium that always demands motion? That's the subtle nuance we'll all be watching for come January.